You to listen to a speaker who has survived cancer. Tonight is about hope. Surviving cancer is that hope. So tonight, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Phair.
Thank you so much. My name is Whitney Phair, and I am a survivor. I first really want to tell you how honored and blessed I feel to be speaking to you on this beautiful day. I'm keenly aware of the fact that events such as this and the awareness and funds that they raise saved my life and the lives of so many like me. I was diagnosed with breast cancer on December 21st, 2008, and I underwent a bilateral mastectomy with reconstruction a month later. With the help of amazing and skilled doctors and an unbelievable support system, I was one of the lucky ones. I survived. Anyone who has ever, thank you, I'm glad too. Anyone who has ever received the diagnosis of cancer, who's received the news you have cancer, knows it changes you. I knew that day my life would never be the same. I just couldn't know just how profoundly my life would be different. The days that followed my diagnosis, although they are a bit of a blur, I must admit, I went through the stages of grief very, very quickly because I knew that there were people who counted on me. My husband, my children, my parents, my siblings, my friends, my extended family at PS 32 in Flushing, Queens, which is where I teach. So I went into fighting mode and I did what I had to do. During that time, the phone was ringing off the hook, and I knew that it was loved ones who were concerned and cared about me and wanted me to know that they were concerned and that they loved me. But I found talking on the phone unbearable, repeating my reality excruciatingly painful. So what I started to do was I started to write emails. It was really before I knew anything about blogging. So I would sit at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and compose these emails, which I dubbed Lori Updates. And it started small, and I would email, like I said, in the middle of the night. And at first, I would write to people at the bottom, if you want to be taken off the distribution list, let me know and I will. And what ended up happening was people were writing back to me saying, write more, write more. Because although I was updating them about my journey, there were also emails about life, about perspective, about priorities, about sweating the small stuff when really it's minutia compared to the value of life. So I gathered the emails and then I started sharing them with other people who were taking the same journey. And I was told that they brought so much comfort. So I put them together, and I also write poetry. I'm a writer, and I'm the kind of person who always had scraps of paper in her pocketbook with poems and stories. And then the iPhone came out, and I now use the note section of my iPhone for all my words. But I compiled everything, and I actually published my work and in a book. Actually, if you Google me, it will come up. And what I do is I take the proceeds, all my royalties, and I donate it back to furthering research for a cure for cancer, because that's the spirit it was written in. And I've learned so much through this journey, but one of the most powerful things that I learned is that when you come out the other side of a storm like this, and you're lucky enough to survive, you owe it to the world to give back and to help others who are going through what you just lived through. So that is basically what I do. Because when someone is struggling, no matter what the struggle is, the greatest gift that you can give them is the gift of hope. So here today, I say to you, keep walking, keep relaying, keep fighting the fight, keep donating, keep fundraising, because I really believe that one day very soon, the word cancer will only exist in a history book. So every year since surviving, one of the gifts that I give to my loved ones is I write a holiday poem. And there have been 4 of them. And yesterday I was laboring over which one I should share with you, because I kind of felt like Meryl Streep in Sophie's Choice, you know, when she had to choose, because they're all my babies and I love them all. But I thought it was fitting for me to share the very first one that I wrote. It was actually the morning of Thanksgiving, like 3 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving. And it was 11 months after I received the diagnosis and 10 months after I became a survivor. And I sat at my computer at 2 o'clock in the morning with tears rolling down my face because my heart was so filled with gratitude. And I composed this poem, and as I said, every year I stick one of these in my holiday card. So this was written in November of 2009, Thanksgiving morning. Well, it's been quite a year for me, one for the history book. I cried a lot, I lived a lot, but I didn't bite the hook. The scars have healed, the pain is gone, but one thing still remains. The lessons I have learned of life, I look to as my gains. I laugh a little louder, I love with all my heart. I've forgiven those who fumbled, and we made a brand new start. My patience is much greater, my words are kinder too. No longer sweating small stuff the way I used to do. I count my blessings every day for the life that I am living, and no longer take for granted what I once saw as a given. I tell my loved ones how I feel, holding very little back, and think of that little pink ribbon when I'm falling off the track. I can't predict the future, I cannot change the past. I live each day as though it might just be my very last. So to you, my beautiful family and friends who have helped me along the way, enjoy this season of giving and have a happy holiday. So God bless all of you for doing what you do. God bless all of those still fighting the fight. And just remember that paying it forward is really what we need to do for each other. So thank you so much, and have a great night here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a tough act to follow. All right, on that note, I'd like to invite Lori to center. If you are a survivor, if you are a caregiver of a survivor, I would invite you please to get behind Lori